Hey everybody, today we're going to take a look at the Mississippi primary. It's coming up this Tuesday, August 8th. There's not a ton happening of note, but the main attraction will be the governor's race. So here's the Ballotpedia page. I recommend scrolling through here if you're unfamiliar. It's got all the usual info that you're going to need, but I'm going to move it over to Wikipedia. And you're probably already familiar, but Republican Tate Reeves, he is running for re-election. So he's got to get through a primary. There really doesn't appear to be any serious opposition. There's a couple of declared candidates here, but it's going to be Tate Reeves. He's completely dominating the two polls here. And actually, look at this Siena College poll from back in June. Reeves is at 59%, and the two other named candidates both have 0%. 8% say other, 33% undecided. But for two other candidates to not even get 1%, I think it's safe to bet on Reeves winning this Republican nomination. So there's not much drama here on the Republican side, and there's probably even less happening with the Democrats. If we go down here, we've got Brandon Presley. He's already the presumptive nominee. Any other candidates have been disqualified. They will not be on the ballot. It's going to be Brandon Presley. He is a Mississippi Public Service Commissioner. He's a distant relative of Elvis, and he's probably the best the Democrats have. He's already raised some money, and I guess he's running as a blue dog conservative type of Democrat, similar to Andy Beshear in Kentucky and John Bel Edwards in Louisiana. But in a deep red state, going for the moderate conservative approach seems to be what would give Presley the best chance to win. He's already won several elections on the Public Service Commission, so he's looking for an upgrade to the governor's mansion. But the focus here is more on the primary, and there is no suspense here. It's going to be Presley. So I don't want to look too much into the general election for this primary video. But if we go down here past the independents and past the endorsements, the general election polling, it doesn't really have anything over the last few months. Tate Reeves is generally in the lead. He's not hitting 50%, but it's enough to make Presley the clear underdog. So my own rating has been likely Republican for this race, and that's not going to change right now. We'll follow this after the primaries. We'll see if Presley can mount a credible attack against Reeves. He's already been out in favor of expanding Medicaid. He also supports getting rid of the grocery tax. Those are things that are probably going to be popular, and what it's usually going to come down to is Presley would just be able to stop most of the social agenda of the Republican state legislature. So I think there would be a lot of vetoes, but other than that, he'd probably end up being popular working with the state legislator like Andy Beshear or John Bel Edwards, passing state budgets that most people seem to be reasonably happy about. But Presley does have to go on the attack. He's got nothing to lose. He's got to get his name recognition up. There's already a story right here, how he goes after Reeves, saying he wasted welfare money. Of course, in politics, Reeves denies it. I don't know what really happened, but again, Presley has really nothing to lose, at least as long as there's a shred of evidence to this claim. So that's the main event, the governor's election. But Mississippi also has other elections. You can view them all on this page here. I'm not going to go through each one. Of course, the elections for state legislature will be happening. We've got the Mississippi House election. Again, this is more for the general election, but Republicans will be looking to pick up a few seats there to try to get a supermajority in the House. On the Senate side, they already have a supermajority. They're going to be looking to hold that just as an insurance policy in case Tate Reeves does not win. But what seems to be the closer election here is actually for lieutenant governor. This has incumbent Republican Delbert Hosemann running for re-election to a second term, but he is facing a primary challenge from Chris McDaniel. Hosemann has been viewed as too liberal. He's been too cozy with the Democrats, so naturally there's going to be an opening for a challenge to his right, and that's where Chris McDaniel comes in. Now, McDaniel has run twice before. In 2014, he got extremely close to being the Republican nominee for U.S. Senate. He lost to Thad Cochran in a runoff by only about a couple of points. So this is going to be where all the action is on primary election night. So I'm not going to look way into these candidates to see who might be right or wrong. You can do that if you're really into this race. But when it comes to the endorsements, Governor Tate Reeves has declined to endorse. Who knows what that means? He's clearly not backing his own lieutenant governor. But challenger Chris McDaniel, he does appear to have much less money coming in. Usually the money helps a lot, but not every time. Down here we do have two polls, and take a look at these. Siena College, back in early June. Hosemann is at 47, McDaniel is at 32, 21% undecided. Back in May, American Strategies, if you trust that polling firm, McDaniel is in the lead 45 to 40, 13% undecided. So it's going to be all about the late breakers, because there's plenty of voters that aren't really going to pay much attention to a primary race like this until the last week or so. Now for the Democrats, they've got their presumptive nominee right there. Ryan Grover doesn't really matter, because in the general election, the Republican is going to be heavily favored. This shows you how bitter it is right here. Hosemann outraises McDaniel, and he continues accusations of law violations. The main thing this tells me is Hosemann is actually scared of McDaniel. If he wasn't, then he wouldn't really be coming after him like this. Now, I don't really know who's right or wrong here. If you're from Mississippi, you probably have a much better idea of what's happening here locally, but this link, along with all the others, will be down below in the description. And again, the election is August 8th, and Mississippi does have runoffs. We're not going to see any in the governor's election, but we could see one in the lieutenant governor's election. That runoff would be 3 weeks later on August 29th. So that's a quick recap of the Mississippi primary. Let me know in the comments, should Tate Reeves and Brandon Presley both have faced competitive primaries, or is it completely fine that they're going to coast to the nomination? Will the Republicans be able to get a supermajority in the state house? Any thoughts on any of the other races? And what about lieutenant governor? Is the lieutenant governor rightfully getting a primary challenge, or is it mostly unfair? Who's going to become the nominee? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.